Curse of the Werewolf is the smallest of the 4 new roller coasters at Universal Epic Universe. This is the brand new theme park at the Universal Orlando Resort, home to 5 immersive themed worlds, including Dark Universe. This entire land is based off of the Universal classic monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and more. Curse of the Werewolf is one of the 2 main attractions in the land. While the other is a high-tech immersive dark ride, this is a themed family coaster from Mack Rides. It's a spinning coaster, sending riders over a couple thousand feet of track at a maximum speed of 37 miles per hour. It's an attraction that I'm glad is in the park, but unfortunately, I have a couple issues with it. This is going to be my full in-depth review of Curse of the Werewolf, where I'll discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first, a little bit of history. When Universal first announced Epic Universe, we got a glimpse of what the Dark Universe land would be, and in this original concept art, you can actually see that there's no roller coaster here. The original plan was for the Monsters Unchained Dark Ride and a show. Late in the game, the teams at Universal came to the realization that they needed another ride. They needed another roller coaster. And so the show got swapped out for a new spinning coaster, and unfortunately, even all these years later, when we're actually there going to ride it, you can kind of tell that this was a last-minute change. Less attention and care was given to this attraction than the others in Epic Universe. This is the first time that Mack has done a launched family spinning coaster. Sierra Sidewinder, Turbulence, and other similar models each have a lift hill, so this launch leads to some fun sensations that we might not be used to. Because like their other spinning coasters, your experience on Curse of the Werewolf will differ every single time. The vehicles are weight dependent, so if you put 2 heavy guests on one side and 2 lighter guests on another, you're more likely to spin a ton. One of my favorite things to do on some of their other family spinning coasters is ride it just on one side where you have no one behind you, and that typically will send you out of control. Unfortunately, because this is a Universal park, the odds are not great that there will be no one else behind you in line that they can just send the other rows empty. So it's really just going to be luck of the draw how your vehicle is weighted. During my several experiences that I had on Curse of the Werewolf, most of the time the vehicles were perfectly balanced, which unfortunately meant we didn't spin too much. I appreciate the varying ride experience though, in that it leads me wanting to come back and try again so I can hopefully get that spinning out of control experience, because I have seen it happen for other riders. And it's one of those times when I'm like, dang, why couldn't I be in that car? But I have gotten it where it moderately spins, and those are the experiences that I tend to prefer. So therefore, this is one of those attractions that, based off of your experience, you could potentially be left underwhelmed. And frankly, I found that more often than not, that ended up being the case for me, because this is also a relatively short ride. An exact track length has not been released, but we're only looking at a couple elements here. You have one launch that starts off flat and then causes you to rise up into this hill. You'll twist to the right and go through a bank turn, entering a shed that is in the middle of a swing launch section. This is purely there to extend the ride time. You don't make it all the way up the next bank turn, so you fall back, pass through the shed again, go up that overbank that you were just on. There is a little step up in between, which is nice. And then at full speed, fly through that shed to make it through the rest of the course. That consists of that bank turn that you're currently on, a small little S-bend, a little airtime pop that goes out over the pathway, one more S-bend, and then you hit the brake run. So it is not a terribly large attraction, and it does offer a pretty tame experience, all things considered. From a thematics perspective, it does have a little bit going for it. In the shed, you can see a werewolf lit up on either side. It's easier to see at night, and frankly, its visibility will definitely depend on how you are rotating, but it is there. I completely missed it my first ride. You fly through it so quick, so you only catch it for a moment. The general story surrounding Curse of the Werewolf is that Mileva, leader of the Guild of Mystics, has welcomed you to her secluded little wagon camp. So that's why you have this very unique stylized entrance, which I quite enjoy. As you enter, you're being warned of the creatures who prowl in these woods. You might notice these tables set up with these various fortune-telling style cards. From the shed, you can look up and see a full moon. And then the story with the coaster is that you are launching through the forest to escape a pack of werewolves. Although at the moment, with Epic Universe being brand new and the trees still being pretty young, it does not quite give the forested effect that I think they are hoping for, especially because you can see a decent amount of this track from the midway, and nothing about it really looks forested. Frankly, I couldn't focus on anything else other than the most hideous nets I've ever seen. These completely surround the coaster, and it visually is very unappealing. To me, it screams last minute. Like, there's no way that Universal actually wanted it to look like this. But at the point when they start discussing loose articles and realized that it was too late to add lockers, it meant that you had to ride with your items, and with it getting so close to the pathways, you really had to put something there. And I guess the answer was just lining the entire attraction with nets, and it is the ugliest thing in the entire park. I understand safety first. It would be really bad if something flew out and hit someone, but I feel like there had to be something else they could have done here. Even bins on the ride platform so you could pull your items off to the side so not everything has to ride with you. Maybe would help because at the moment, whatever you have in your pockets, your backpacks, water bottles, it all goes at your feet. The amount of people that I have watched ride this with cell phones in their hands is frankly a little alarming. In its current state, yeah, the nets make a lot of sense. But surely there had to be something they could do to not make it look like this. It's to the point where it detracts from the rest of Dark Universe. This is a beautiful land with some amazing buildings, and Curse of the Werewolf looks out of place. Again, I'm glad the ride is here, but I do think it's fair to say that it's possible the land could have looked better without it. And that's a shame to say because, again, the stylization that they went with for the entrance and the general theme is great. But they absolutely skipped out on the general presentation during the actual ride experience. Even the finale when you're sitting on the brake run is very lackluster and clearly an afterthought. It's prime space for a show scene or animatronic, and instead there's just a static figure that looks like it belongs outside of someone's house during Halloween. In no way up to the same standard that has been set with other Universal attractions. So for Curse of the Werewolf's final score, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I'm overall kind of mixed about this ride. I think it's fine for what it is. The layout is okay. In my opinion, it has the most cons of any major ride in Epic Universe, and to me just screams filler. This is a filler addition in place to increase capacity in the park. So if it's pulling lines away from monsters, then I guess that's fine with me. I'd rather ride that anyways. But with the low height requirement of only 40 inches, this ride will have a lot of appeal for younger thrill seekers, and that is a big pro. And it is nice that we have another true spinning coaster in Orlando that is outside of Fun Spot Kissimmee. But I just feel like my core issues with the ride all could have been prevented and still could be fixed. But will they though? That remains to be seen. But at the moment, I'd say if you're visiting Epic Universe for your first time and you're really having to prioritize what you want to do, I think this is an attraction you could skip. But let me know down in the comments below if you agree with the points that I brought up, if you think there's anything I missed, and of course, make sure to stay tuned for more Epic Universe content here at Coaster Studios, and I'll see you next time.